Welcome back to the shooting channel, and today we're going to have a slightly different film, and we're going to have a little chat because lots of you have been saying in the comments about buying guns, how to buy guns, is guns worth the money. So we have come and going to come and have a chat with my father and Doug Florin, which has been in the industry for 40 plus years, and we are going to talk about, is a gun a good investment? So what do you think about buying a gun as an investment, and how do you think the best way is to buy it?
Well, my opinion is going to be slightly different because I think that guns are a fantastic investment. The investment that you get out of a gun is the pleasure of shooting it. If you happen to make some money at the end of the day, that is a bonus. But the best investment that I ever made was 40 odd years ago. I bought a rifle. It cost me £130 new. That gun took me and Shirley all over the world. We started shooting fit us, and I used that £130 gun to shoot all over the world. I used it for shooting grouse in Scotland. I've used it for shooting woodcock in Cornwall. I've used that gun all over the place. That gun has taken me to places that you would never ever see if you didn't shoot. So to me, the best investment I've ever made is that gun for £130. It's a bit of an illogical thing to say because if you've done a good investment, obviously we're thinking about the financial investment as well. So our gun is a good investment financially. Financially, guns can be if you buy it right. And if you're looking about the financial investment, guns are a bit like cars. If you buy cheap and cheerful, that is exactly what you get. If you're going to buy a gun as an investment, a financial investment, then you need to buy the very best that you can buy. You get people who buy a Purdy because it's got Purdy in it. You can buy a Purdy that is virtually strapped, but it makes a lot of money because it's got Purdy in it. If you buy a Purdy that is absolutely mint and 100 years old, that will be a good investment. English guns tend to be a good investment, but again, you've got to buy nice.
So if I was sat at home and I've got a bit of money burning a hole in my pocket, whether it's £1,000, whether it's £10,000, whether it's £5,000, whether it's £50,000, a lot of people think, I want to go out and buy a classic car, or a sports car, or something like that. Now, a classic car doesn't really lose money. A modern day car, as soon as you take it out of that showroom, it loses money. But if people are out there, can you go out there and think, I don't want to buy a classic car, I want to buy a couple of guns? And what sort of guns would you buy? Are they going to lose money? Are they going to invest money? If you bought a £2,000 gun, is it going to be, in 5 years' time, is it still going to be worth that money?
If you buy a comparison between guns and cars is perfect, because if you buy a new car, when you drive it out of the showroom, you lose VAT, and dealer profit. If you buy a new shotgun, you lose exactly the same. You lose VAT and the dealer profit. The difference is that if you buy a car, then you drive it out the showroom, you lose VAT and dealer profit. But that car continues to go down in value, down and down and down, until after 10 years, 99% of them are not worth anything. If you buy a gun, same thing, you lose VAT and dealer profit. But over a period of the next few years, that gun then starts to level off. Then, gradually, it starts to increase in value because the new price of that gun will go up annually, so the second-hand price will be dragged up by the new price of replacement. So, yeah, I mean, as I said before, if you will spend money on a gun, buy nice, buy the very best that you can get, but also buy something that you can shoot with. You don't want a really expensive gun to hang on the wall. You want something to hang on the wall by a picture. If you want something to get value for money out of, buy yourself a gun that is really, really nice, and also one that you can shoot with, because it will take you to places that you've never been to before.
So what happens if I want to buy a gun, I've just retired, I want to buy a gun that I want to stay in the family for years and years and years? Do I buy a nice side-by-side, a hammer gun, an AYA, or do I buy a Beretta or a Browning?
If you are clay shooting orientated, then buy yourself an overlander. If you are game shooting, and we get lots of families coming to us to buy second-hand side-by-sides, because they're a farming family, they've got 300 or 400 acres, they shoot game in the season. So they are very much game orientated. They'll shoot a few caves, but they'll shoot their side-by-side. So it depends on what you want to do with the gun as to what you want to buy. If you want to buy something for fun, buy yourself an old hammer gun. You can buy an old hammer gun for not very much money. Damascus barrels, lovely old things, totally handmade, not a lot of money, and they're fun to shoot with.
And if you buy one of those, does anything go wrong with them? Because obviously a Beretta or a Browning, they very rarely go wrong. How would you keep a gun like that? Would you have it serviced regularly? Would you?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to buy an old gun with overlander with side-by-side, I always recommend to people they have their gun service every year in the spring. The reason being that over the winter period, you go out with that gun, you have it, gets wet, you take it in wind and rain, and it gets wet, and even though you try and clean it yourself, you can't do it as well as a gunsmith does. So I always recommend that you get your gun serviced in the spring of each year. That goes through the summer, working absolutely perfectly. Repair-wise, unfortunately every time, but you need to find a shop or gunsmith that knows what he's doing. Side-by-sides, basically, the things that break on side-by-side is firing pins and mainsprings, maybe a top lever spring. Not very expensive to replace. again, if you've bought yourself something that is nice to start with, if you buy yourself a really tired gun, then it could be more expensive to keep running.
And where, so obviously when I was younger, you took me to Carey Ledbury,
Yeah.
Malcolm Carey, which is a gun shop that specialises in very, very expensive guns. You've got pieces like him. Where would be the best place to buy a gun? A lot of people now are saying go to an auction rather than going to a shooting school and seeing an expert or something like Carey's of Ledbury. What would you say about buying a gun from an auction or somewhere like that?
Right, if you go to, you've mentioned Malcolm Carey, Carey's of Ledbury. If you go there, Malcolm has been in the gun trade for 100 years. He took the shop over to his father. Malcolm will only sell the very, very best that you can buy. He will only buy the best and he will only sell the best. So if you go to somebody like him, all right, you're not going to get cheap, but you're going to get the very best that you can buy. Now, when you come to sell that gun in 10 or 20 years' time, the one thing you know is you have got the best there is available. So that is saleable, will make good money. Buying guns in auction is a bit of a gamble. Many years ago, gun dealers used to go to auctions to buy guns. Because you could buy guns reasonably cheaply, spend some money on them, get them done up by a proper gunsmith, and then sell them and make a profit. Now, the auction houses have put all their charges through the roof. Generally, the buyer's premium is 25% plus VAT, and the seller's premium is 25% plus VAT. So, if you buy a gun from auction, you are going to pay probably over the odds for it. The difference between what the seller gets for the gun and what the buyer pays for it is over 50%. So beware of buying guns at auction.
So what we're saying really is don't just walk into any old gun shop, find a professional gun shop or shooting school or somebody that knows what they're talking about and go and see them.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that is the thing. I've said about the investment you get is at the pleasure of shooting it. But again, there's no point in buying a beautiful gun, you can't shoot with it. So the thing to do is go to, I'm going to say, a professional gun shop, preferably one that has a shooting grounds or has access to a shooting grounds, so that you can go in there, you can get proper advice about the gun that you're buying, and then to back that advice up, you go out into the shooting grounds and you shoot it. Every year, we have people come to us about 3 or 4 weeks into the season. They've been out, first day out, shoot brilliantly. Second day out, they're shooting suddenly gets worse. So the real fact may say, that gun you sold me won't hit pheasants. Bring it back. So you bring it back, one of us will take them out, and within 10 or 15 minutes, we put them back to hitting driven birds again. So beware of buying online, beware of buying unseen. It's like everything else. You get what you pay for. And if you go to the best, you'll get the best.